A very good evening to you. Thanks for joining us on the first edition of the show for the week. I'm Yemi Adebayo. We'll continue with our review and preview of matches played at the FIFA Women's World Cup. Of course, the finalists has emerged. And of course, tomorrow we will know the team that will join Spain in the final of the FIFA Women's World Cup. Good to see you once again. I'm Yemi Adebayo. And of course, we will also take a look at what's going on in basketball. We will also give you a slice of football, what will happen at UEFA Europa Cup. I mean, of course, the Super Cup, rather, tomorrow. That's Manchester City and, of course, Sevilla. Of course, it's always a two-man show. My colleague, Austin Okot-Akman, will be joining me later on as we continue on this ride. We take a trip across the money-spinning world of sports. Austin is around now, and of course, he joins us as we do this together. Greetings to you, Austin. What a day to talk sports.
What a greetings to you, Yemi, and everyone joining us on the show tonight. Oh, what a day to talk sports. So much happening in our beautiful world of sports right here in England. The Premier League got off with its drama. You know, some teams continued from where they stopped last season. Sad news for Manchester City and Kevin De Bruyne. But the Gunners needed to, get something out of that game against Nottingham Forest, and they did. Chelsea and Liverpool share the spoils. The EPL is back. But who will stop talking about what's going on right there in Australia and New Zealand? What a story. Unpredictable FIFA Women's World Cup. Spain. Who would have thought? Who saw this coming, that Spain will make it to the final even before some of the favorites that made it to the semi-finals? Football just has a funny way to get us talking. I'm super, duper excited to be on the show tonight, Yemi. Let's rock and roll.
All right. With that cue from Austin, we're set to rock and roll. At some point, our colleague Cecilia Moroway will be joining us when it's time to take a look at the FIFA Women's World Cup. But we want to start differently tonight on the show. We're going to start with basketball, all for you. Before I go into that, let's quickly introduce our partner in the Lagos studio. Kehinde Idris joins us now. And Kehinde Idris, greetings to you. Thanks for joining us on the show. You're with us on a night when there's basketball on the menu. First, thanks for braving the odds to be here.
Yeah, it's always good to be here. And like you said, probably starting off without, it not being football, basketball, and the entire love of basketball in Nigeria, also the entire nation, because whatever happens to one, finds a way to happen to all. It's not really a good time. And then I know we'll talk about it, in full throttle in the course of, our discussion.
All right, let's just go straight to it. The FIBA Olympic pre-qualifying tournament. It didn't start well for... let's just quickly show our viewers what happened and what is currently going on. The second game should be wrapping up by now, if it hasn't wrapped up. But what we're witnessing, what we're seeing, not a good one. So I just quickly pop up to the screen to let our viewers see what's going on day one and day two. For day one, just like Kehinde Idris said, we lost to Senegal 93-87, and wasn't really good. And now we're against Mali, we're against the ropes. Was not really looking good. But Kehinde Idris, we have some pictures on our screen. The first game, before I go to Austin, any surprises for you?
I think the surprise is the fact that we're in Lagos, we're in Nigeria. This tournament is holding, right here, and it's looking very dicey for our chances to be at the next Olympics, talking about Paris 2024, because as of the last time I checked, it was 62-72 in favor of Mali. Barely 2 minutes to go, and already we've lost the first game. I don't know what magic could happen, but in basketball, 2 minutes can, happen to be played in 10 minutes, and that could, serve up a lot of surprises. Without that, I think Nigeria is already, out of the qualifiers. You get to, qualify from your group, then go to the semi-final. Before the final, only one team will go ahead in the surge to be at the next World Cup. So it is as simple as that. I don't know what would happen in these few minutes, I'm sure it would have wrapped up or something by now. But it's looking like this is the end of the road. Maybe the ghost of preparations, caught up with us on this.
All right. Not really looking good for the Tigers, we must say. But Austin probably has his thoughts as well. Austin lost the first game. Some would say it didn't come as a surprise. We have our own issues we've been dealing with for a while. And against Mali, we're on the ropes. Miracles can happen, but not really looking good.
Yeah, not looking good. And I remember, I told you that with the men, with some of the things that I was seeing prior to this competition, I wasn't expecting anything. I was having a conversation with a member of the D Tigers team that did exploits in Rwanda. And I said that you guys have beaten Senegal to win another title. You have stopped Senegal 4 times now in a row. Their men will come out blazing. And that's what their men did against Nigeria in that first game that they won. This second one against Mali, I said it on the show. I told you that with Mali and Senegal, and even a tricky Uganda, a divided MBBF, putting together a team will not be able to do anything back home in Lagos, Nigeria. So they actually went into the lead. They took the lead into halftime, came back the third quarter, and Mali somehow found their way to, take the lead in the game. So as it's standing, I don't think they can beat Mali. And if they don't beat Mali, that's end of the road. And no surprises here, because that tells the proper story of basketball in Nigeria. But for the D Tigers and the dominance and the talent and the resilience that those ladies carry each time they represent Nigeria, if they had gone out there and don't perform, I won't come here and put my hands on my chin and say I'm surprised. It is what it is. When you fail to plan, you're planning to fail. First things first, look at where they're even playing a pre-Olympic qualifier. Look at the stands. What's the sort of support you're seeing from there? This is basketball that is massive in Nigeria, that has given us international reputation. And somehow we just find a way to destroy the small existing structures, and then we start struggling. So we'll wait for confirmation of the final result between Nigeria and Mali, but no surprises here. Maybe this time around we'll look back and see ways that we can, start rebuilding and make basketball admirable once again.
All right, let me play the devil's advocate, Austin. People give us some flack anytime national teams lose, and we come to blame it on the administration, although we say it the way it is anyway, but we come to blame it on it. And people will quite sometimes point out that, are you saying with all the necessary preparation and doing the right things that a team cannot lose? So if that's the poser tonight, what would you say?
So everything rises and falls on leadership, and those people that question why we always put it on administration, it is what it is. First thing first, look at the quickly arranged arena where the basketball is being played. That's one. Secondly, how did you put together the team? What's the quality of the coaching? Remember what I said about Coach Reina, that she's coming from a place where there's existing structure and where there are standards, and that she might just do well. And with the talents that they had in the D Tigers team, she did exploits with the team. It's 360 degrees branding, but leadership carries most of it, because with leadership, I keep saying it, that you start winning even before you get into that court, that pitch for the action. The things that you've done, getting ready for it. We know that Senegal will come blazing. We know that Mali will come blazing. How many times did you and I, the viewers, followers of basketball, talk about the D Tigers and their preparation for these pre-Olympic qualifiers? We didn't, because there was nothing to talk about. Gone are the days in Africa where you just bank on talent alone. Countries are doing what they have to do to close the space, because Nigeria, they understand, is so blessed with rich human and natural resources. We are the model. These guys are looking at us and they're doing things differently. But we know this one, nobody will come and say this and say that. We know that the leadership and administration of basketball in Nigeria is faulty. Go deep into the administration, you can tell that they're still divided, that they're not planning. And I said it, when there is no purpose-driven leadership in place, where are you heading? So this is clearly on leadership. We have the talent. It's like the Super Falcons now. We start saying, do we have the talent to win the next Africa Women's Cup of Nations? I would just laugh because we've seen it. They've shown the world that we can compete at every level. Nigeria is blessed with talent. The problem is leadership and administration.
All right. Let me see if Kehinde Idris will not repeat the same things that Austin has said. Your thoughts? It appears like we might not be able. Our producer will give us a final confirmation very soon. But it appears like we might not be able to salvage something.
It looks like that. It looks like that. In 2020, at the height of, the whole COVID lockdown and all of that, then I'm seeing, the whole palliative story, how it is outside there in Nigeria. And then I came up with a quote. The society suffers from what the society creates. Now, it was bettered from the fact that houses were being, broken into, a lot of stories and all of that because people are hungry. Now, a lot of things might look like we are talented. Why not go out there, drop sweat and blood? But trust me, a well-motivated human or a well-motivated team will find a way to rise above. That is one way.
Let me just butt in, Idris. Our viewers will, of course, this is of interest to our viewers. Nigeria is out of the qualifiers. We've lost the game to Mali, 68-77. Just got a confirmation from the crew. So that's it. So factor that into what you are saying. So it's not, it looks like, it is what it is now.
It is now. It's as simple as that. There is no way. It is only but to an extent your talent will take you. And we've seen all over the world.
Let me say, how painful is this? How
it's sad.
Listening to
I can
Austin,
remember celebrating the last. Okay.
I'm asking how painful this is because listening to Austin and from some of the conversations we've had in the past, we knew if something did not change, things like this was going to happen. If we knew things like this were going to happen, so how painful is this?
It's so painful. The last time we're celebrating how our girls and our boys made it to the Olympics.
In spite of all the issues.
This is what countries do around the world. This is what administrations do. You get some level of success and you build on it. At least you should ride on that for a while before maybe other countries will arise. Everybody's working. You won't be a winner every day. But there are some landmarks that you get to that you must ride on. And we are not riding on that. Austin just talked about, the D Tigers. How many times did we talk about them in the preparation to this Olympics tournament, qualifying tournament? Even the D Tigers who are going for the FIBA Afro Basket, this whole thing will someday, catch up with us. And I think that is today.
Like I said, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but it is what it is. And we have a job to do. And on the screen for our viewers is a summation of what the D Tigers have done in the Olympic pre-qualifying tournaments. And, I mean, we're out of it anyway. Game one result, we lost to Senegal. And today, a few minutes ago, final confirmation, Nigeria losing the second game, 68-77. All hopes, everything has ended. It's come crashing down. And what a painful way for it to crash down here in Lagos, in our backyard. Of course, we couldn't keep the dream alive, and it has all ended. Let me just quickly go to Austin as we prepare to wrap up this segment where we've been talking basketball. How do we pick the pieces? It's hard to just quickly think of, but how we've said it so many times, but how do we pick the pieces? It's not good. We knew it was going to happen, but seeing it happen is still painful.
Is it painful? Well, to me, it's not painful. I mean, I've been saying it over and over again because I know what is going on. I have people speaking to me in the MBBF telling me that we are not ready. And I'm saying, let's start with you. Maybe you first need to step aside. I've always said it that people who have no passion, who have no knowledge or expertise or direction of sports of any kind in Nigeria have no business to be, administering the sports. That's what happens when you put the wrong persons in the right sports, So it's not painful to me. I'm not surprised. I was looking for that result. They took the lead into halftime 43-38. So the D Tigers had the momentum. But I always say this thing, you just don't get up and go and compete. You see, in Boy Scouts, when I was growing up, we used to say, be prepared. That was the motto, all the time, This is talent. You need to keep it going. You need to oil those wheels. What have we done? I'm tired of saying these things, and then when I end the show, I get administrators calling me and trying to say this and say, I say, no, let's see workings. Let's see action. Do you know what Senegal is doing for basketball? I even spoke to some members of their women's team that lost to Nigeria, and they said they are so pained because Nigeria, we've not done quarter. We've not even scratched the surface of what they are doing for basketball in Senegal. What about Mali? And these guys are just looking at it and saying, if there's any team to beat, it's Nigeria. So when you beat Nigeria, you know that, yes, your KPIs are looking good. So let's start with the leadership, because I still believe that everything rises and falls on leadership. They need to do a conscience check and say to themselves, what are we really doing to basketball in Nigeria? Because this can actually be used to empower the youth. They put together this setting at Eco Convention Center just to have it. And I've been saying all the time that infrastructure is important. There's something about where a team competes. Yeah, I mean, you cover sports, I'm sure you understand. There's something about a team knowing that this is our home, this is where we dream, and then we visualize it, and then it comes to reality. You just don't put things together as, oh, let's just do it because we want to do it. That's the result we're getting. You have to do it properly. It must be done well. You must be results-oriented and follow the processes. We keep motivating people and say, trust the process. It works the same way too with sports, you know. So I'm not surprised. Let's see. They will say, well, the Tigers didn't qualify. They'll bank on the women now. Maybe if the women qualify, they will say we're asking for too much. But what's the state of basketball back home? What's the league like? I just talked about infrastructure. How many players can look at themselves now and say, I have a future if I want to be a basketballer in Nigeria? It's bleak, hear me.
All right, very bleak, very bleak. Austin speaking his mind right there, and I'm very sure everything Austin has said can be caught and played over and over so that the authorities would listen, because it's very apt to be sincere. All right, let's move on the show. It's time to talk about the FIFA Women's World Cup, and we'll go into that segment. We'll probably do that after we return from the break, but let's quickly see if we can give the results for today. Let's do that at least so that we talk about. So that's it. Spain through to the final for the first time in their history, defeating Sweden 2-1. All of the goals coming in the last 10 minutes of the game. It's a surprise. And of course, Australia will be facing England tomorrow in the second semi-final that determines who play against Spain in the final. Definitely going to be a new name on the trophy this time. It's going to be interesting days ahead. Of course, Spain getting the job done. A lot of people, myself included, didn't expect them to get that done. Kehinde Idris, few seconds. Did the Spaniards surprise you? Few seconds.
Yeah, they surprised me getting to this point. But following what they've played all through the competition, I think they were really ready, disciplined, and trust, you know, your tactics. And I think that is what got them to this point, except for the Japan game.
All right, that's what has got them to this point, apart from Japan that they lost. All right, let's go on a break now. When we return from that break, we'll dive straight into our analysis of what's going on at the FIFA Women's World Cup. Welcome back. We're here. We're into that segment brought to you by Stanbic IBTC, the official insurance partner of the Super Falcons. We're talking about the FIFA Women's World Cup. Our colleague Cecilia Morogbe is right where everything is happening. And of course, she's with us to talk about what has happened today and how the fans are reacting to all that has happened. Cecilia, greetings to you once again. Thanks for filling us in with the mood and the stories happening right there at the FIFA Women's World Cup.
Yeah, good evening, Yemi. It's great to be here again.
All right, that's your reaction. I was asking everybody, telling Austin, telling Kehinde Idris that I'm surprised that the Spaniards made it this far. I'm not a betting person, but I wouldn't have put my money on them. I don't know if you share those thoughts as well.
Yeah, I don't know why you guys won't put your money on Spain. Now, let's take a look at the record that they've done. 2018, they won the under-17, right? Then 2 years later, they repeated it. 2020, they won the under-17. And 2022 also, they won the under-20. Now, this is the bedrock of women's football. That's where you have the talents coming in from. So that should tell you a story that there's something Spain is building. Now, there's a particular player, Salma Paraluelo, who happens to score the first goal. She came in as a substitute, played for 3 minutes. She came in as a sub, and she scored the opening goal. Now, that girl, at the European Youth Festival, she actually participated as a hurdler, 400 meters hurdle. That's where she won a gold medal in Baku then in 2017. And now, 2018, she was with the Spanish team that won the Women's World Cup under 17. That's in 2018. The European Championship also, she was also there with the Spanish team. And Costa Rica, I saw in Costa Rica in Spain, when they won in Costa Rica, Spain, she won the World Cup under 20 with Spain. Now, we've seen the progression of this particular player from an athlete playing track and field as a hurdler, 100 meters, up to being a footballer, and see the progress she's made. So when you have a country that can actually monitor talent like this and it gets to a particular stage, you have to have hope on these players. So, and if you check the crop of Barcelona players that are coming into this particular tournament, they won the Champions League. So these are champions coming into a tournament. Yes, Spain have participated at the FIFA Women's World Cup. This is the third time they are coming in. But on the 17 and on the 20 level, on the 17 level, they are the most successful back-to-back. On the 20, they started the last year. And now you won't rule them out at this World Cup because this group of players are determined. Now, take a look at the mayhem that happened in 9 minutes. I think both coaches didn't want to go into penalties. They discovered that, yes, they're staring the finals in the face. They want to reach there. And what happened? They made substitution. And those substitutes did the business. And then we ended up regulation time. We actually wanted to end the regulation time because nobody wanted to get to penalties. We didn't want to witness what happened between France and Australia again, having to go into 22 penalties or thereabouts. So nobody wanted to witness that. And the fans actually heaved a sigh of relief when that happened. I was at the fan festival, FIFA Fan Festival. That's the particular place where fans can actually go to enjoy games that they can't have opportunity to go, because the game between Spain and Sweden was played in Auckland, in the park in New Zealand. So you have that FIFA Fan Festival where fans can go and enjoy and watch the game live with music, live performances and all going on. And every fan there just wanted to end the game at regulation time. And when the game finished, I was asking questions and they were all talking about Australia, England. Nobody was talking about Spain and Sweden. It was only about Australia, England. That tells you that the people who came out to watch were actually Australians, the English guys and every other, Brazilians, the Germans, all of them who came to the World Cup. They didn't go, they had to stay back because they discovered that this is one of the best World Cups they've ever watched, where every game you see, the stadium is full, and not just that, the women are playing fantastic football. Everyone's talking about Australia-England game. They didn't want to talk about this game because the Spanish fans were in New Zealand, fans traveling with their teams everywhere to watch them play live. That's something remarkable in this particular Women's World Cup.
All right. Okay, very good. Cecilia, Cecilia, you talked about the fans and, some of those people being happy, and most of them looked like they were Australian. So let's just quickly get a feel of the fans being excited after Spain were able to get through to... and of course, we'll do that, and we'll also see if we can just lump it up with the Swedish coach just as reactions for the game.
Game, it was quite even at some points, but Spain played really, really well, especially the last 20 minutes, so they deserve to win. Yeah, so I 2 amazing goals, 3 amazing goals, I have to say. Sweden scored a really, really nice goal, but it wasn't enough.
Incredibly close contested between Spain and Sweden. That last 10 minutes was thrilling, wasn't it?
Yeah, on the edge of the seat the whole game.
Yeah, once Sweden scored their goal to make it 1-1, it was absolutely, we're on the edge of our seats really. We had a mate who was supporting Sweden, so we're ready to, give them hell for the rest of the night. But when they scored, it was like, oh, you know.
Yeah, no, it was definitely a close gripping game. Couldn't ask for much more, really.
I'm from Kurdistan. I came here today to the game to support them with my flag. I have done 45 countries with my flag so far. So I came here to represent my flag also and support Spain. I'm so happy they won.
Oh, I reckon they were playing amazing. Trying their hardest, that's all you can do. I mean, unfortunate for the girls, but hey, it is what it is. Maybe next FIFA World Cup they'll win.
All right, the pain of defeat and the joy of a victory. Kane Idris, your reaction quickly. We'll talk about England and Australia later on. Cecilia has a lot of things to share with us, but your thoughts on the game quickly.
Fantastic game. I saw everything, and I think almost every game at this World Cup, if not every game, has been a proper, showpiece. And I think this is the latest, and it has, taken it to another level. Fantastic. And Spain did what Spain had done all game long, except, like I mentioned, the Japan game, where Japan really outwitted them. They are fantastic. Do not do too much. Keep your discipline. Take your chances and move on. For Paraluelo Salma, I think fantastic. We're talking about Linda Caicedo being stars that were giving birth at the World Cup, like it's always been at the male World Cup. I think Salma just joined that. All Caicedo is 18, Salma is 19. Okay. Teenagers just giving birth to at the world stage. All right.
Standout players showing their stuff. All right, let's go to Austin as well. Austin, I'll yield the floor to you. We're done with Spain. Let's look at the next semi-final.
Yeah, let's just talk a little bit about Spain, and just on what Kende said about Salma and Caicedo. Salma is just 19, and she's on the brink of winning a third major World Cup. She was with that team that won the under-17 title for Spain in 2018, I think in Uruguay, and then she won the under-20. And now she's in the final, and the bulk of that team have been put together. That's the power of grassroots football development. You see, when we say these things, people don't understand. She's just 19. She's on the brink of winning a third major World Cup title. Under 17, under 20, and now the senior women's, World Cup. What a story. Let's talk about the second semi-final. England versus Australia will definitely get us, pumped up. I'm right here in England, and the media, they are so looking forward to this one. Everyone is talking about it. Coach Sarima Wigman believes that they can just do something, to, upset Australia. Australia on their own side, they are pumped up after winning that marathon penalty against France. So it's going to be a good game of football. I wasn't ready to see penalty today, and Spain gave me the sort of response that I wanted, when they clapped back right after Sweden got back into it and all of that. So this women's football, me and this World Cup, we said we wanted drama, and they've given us serious drama. It's so unpredictable, but somehow I think England will do just enough to have it over Australia. Australia, no disrespect, they will come out, do what they want to do. The other day I tweeted that football, you are crazy. Yes, football is crazy. This is the same Australia that couldn't beat the Super Falcons of Nigeria, and they are playing in the semi-finals, But it is what it is. It's football where anything can happen. Let's take reactions from Sweden's loss to Spain, and then I'll come back to talk some more.
I can't say believe, but I hope that Spain win. Because I always like that kind of football, and maybe that's. I think they're a very good team. I think England, Australia is also good teams, but I think Spain's kind of football I like it because we also want to have a high pressure. They're very skillful in the technique, so that's one thing that we hope that we can getting better in the technique thing. So I hope for Spain, but I don't know. I can't speak for everybody in the Swedish stuff or with the players, but I know how I work, and I'm disappointed about 24-36 hours, and I accept that myself. And then you feel it, that revenge, you can call it that, but I'm happy that we have a new game to play. And as I said, it's nicer to. If I got home today, it's now we have a chance to win the last game, and if you win the last game, it's more happy. So I think we'll be ready for Saturday, but not tonight.
So that's it. Coach Peter Gerrard said, with what Spain did to his team, he would definitely root for Spain to go all the way and then win a maiden FIFA Women's World Cup trophy. Spain, for the first time, they are in the final, and they've also become the first youngest team to make the final since 2015. La Roger doing everything that they can to get the world talking about them at the FIFA Women's World Cup. Let's go back home. This time around, the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, where the First Lady received some members of the Super Falcons in Abuja. It was just to say, well done, thank you for making the country proud, for giving us a good representation. And truly, I like this one. A lot of questions about, why don't we have the full team present and all of that. But yeah, the captain on the maybe was right there. I saw Tochukwu Loeyi also. So members of the NFF also present, and the First Lady said a lot of good things about the women and the representation they gave to Nigeria at the FIFA Women's World Cup. Let's listen to some talking points that came out of that hosting in Abuja, and then we'll get Kehinde Idris and Cecilia's reaction.
Now we were really, Mr. President said we are all expecting you back, and never feel that you don't have support back here, because I know most of you went back to base, but we were really expecting you. Really, you played so well. These are your soccer moms. Me, I can't watch soccer that much because I'll get a heart attack. But they are just there. But at the stage, she ran away too. Mrs. Shetima had to run away, but we were there, and I was told Mr. President was watching in his office. He loves soccer, so he loves the game of soccer, and I do. But I just wait until they finish the match. But this one, I watched. You made us proud. Even the world took notice. They took notice, and they knew that, England is just like their penalty that gave them the day. And we have to work on that too. We have to work on that. And, you're all very, very great. We are proud of you. Thank you.
Well, I feel like every other Nigerian because they really done us proud, and we're really happy about it. So I'm really happy about their performance. Well, first of all, we're trying to see how we strengthen the league. We run the female league, which has the lower level and the senior level. We just need to do everything possible to see how we can strengthen it. And then we're trying to see how we can start running the under 15 and under 17 of the ladies competition within the country, which we intend to do in all the states of the federation. Then we go to the zonal level, then we come to the national level for us to catch them young from all parts of the country. So that is what we are planning to do, and by the grace of God, we are going to commence the program very soon. Whatever is the situation there, by the time that people conclude everything, everybody will get to know the reality of things. And what I want to assure Nigerians is that whatever comes to us that is for the players, we will surely make sure that it gets to the players. Well, we are really happy about it for her to still have consigned to receive them, despite the fact that they did not get to where we expect them to get to, because our expectation was we want them to win the trophy. But this shows you the kind of leaders we have now, for them to try to see how they can encourage their subjects.
I really feel honored when we heard that the First Lady wanted to host us. It felt like, yes, the country appreciate us, and they appreciate what we did in Australia, and I really feel honored. Like myself and my teammates, you can see like they're happy. Mostly the first lady of Nigeria, host us. It's everything. It feels like we are appreciated. Everybody appreciates what we do. And I want to say a very big thank you to her. Even before we went for the competition, she gave us a very great, farewell or a very great reception. That motivated the team so well, in going to play and making the nation proud. And it really helped us. It really motivated us.
Should be Christian.
All right, welcome back. And of course, the First Lady of Nigeria hosting the ladies after their exploits at the FIFA Women's World Cup. All right, let's move on the show. As you already know, our colleague Cecilia Morogbe is right there at the heart of everything where things are happening. And of course, she did a preview of what's going to happen, what it might happen between England and Australia. Let's enjoy this report, and we'll come back for more Sports Tonight.
This is the FIFA Fan Festival, and the fans who just finished watching the game between Spain and Sweden are eagerly anticipating the big clash between England and Australia. And of course, that's going to be at Stadium Australia, where the winner would definitely be the ones that will be playing in the final of the FIFA Women's World Cup 2023. Go Matilda! And for the first time in the history of the FIFA Women's World Cup, Spain are in the final.
It was amazing. It was super awesome, up until the end, for sure.
So are you looking forward to the game tomorrow?
Yeah, so we're going to the semifinals. So all of our friends over here have tickets, so we're really excited.
The Matildas have good chances of advancing, especially with the crowd rooting for them in the stadium. So yeah, I think they have a little bit of an advantage in that respect.
Australia for sure. I'm going to the stadium, watch the game. So Australia at the final, Australia champion.
Oh, I hope they bring the men's World Cup here too, because this has been unbelievable. We Australians, we are the winners. We win. We got the heart of gold, heart of lions,
To be honest, I've been liking it so much. I've been to many games. I've been following the Brazilian team and now the Matildas. It's surprising how the crowd is embracing the Women's World Cup.
It has been fantastic. I'm a sports junkie. I travel around the world to watch Olympics, but to have the Football World Cup in Sydney, this is like the Olympics again. It's the best. Everyone from around the world in one place, the theatre of the sport, bringing everyone together. It's been pretty fun. And I've been working at some of the fan sites, so it's been extra good to be at that extra level of involvement in the game.
Whatever will be the result for both fans, it's been a fantastic World Cup for those who've been watching, because it was something they waited for and they finally got it. From the FIFA Fan Festival right here in Sydney, Cecilia Morogbe for China's Television News.
That's it on Cecilia Morogbe, of course, giving us what's going down right there. All right, Kade Idris, we have just less than 5 minutes to go, so this might be your parting shot. Use your time well. From there, we get to Austin and Cecilia as well. What do you think is going to happen tomorrow? As quick as you can.
Yeah, I think both teams, I have huge respect for them. They've stood the test of, teams. I think I'll just, just enjoy the game. No tilting towards anybody. Good team, England, host nation, Australia, also a good team. I think I'll just stay in the middle, enjoy fantastic football like the first semi-final did. So that's just it from me.
All right, I want Australia to win, and if you think you know the reason why, you are right. If you think you know the reason why. Let me give the floor to Austin, probably has a thing to say, and of course, we'll listen to Cecilia as well.
Yeah, I'm in England, so I'm not going to say I want Australia to win. I have no reasons, because the English press, they are pumped up. I was watching the game on FS1, and the analyst said the same thing, that they don't want England to win, that the world will not sleep. Come on, guys. The English team, I think they've done enough, the European champions, and they've shown good quality. And the fact that they stopped Nigeria, maybe we should root for the team that stopped Nigeria. Cecilia, am I correct?
No, you're wrong, Austin. I think right here in Australia, most Nigerians here want to be Australians for this game, because they feel that the English team and their fans are arrogant. I mean, that's the general. Whenever England is training, most times their training session is closed, and then they since they came to this World Cup, usually teams move along with the country, the state they're playing in the city. Well, England have been in the south coast all this while, South Wales. That's where they've been at the border of Sydney. That's where they've been. They travel from there to Brisbane, travel to wherever. So it's hard for you to follow them. When we went to their media conference, it took us 2 hours, 30 minutes by train to get to where they are camped. Meanwhile, you see teams training everywhere. So that's why their close training session, the Australian News Telegraph had to use helicopter chopper to actually capture them training behind closed doors. And they published it and said they've actually seen what they've been hiding, that they can't just sneak in and sneak out. So they know what they're going to dish out in the semi-final. So that tells you a whole lot about this English team. Yes, for me, I mean, if you ask me, I think I actually want the host nation to win because football has done something for Australia that every country really needs to learn from.
Okay, all right. It's over to England. I'm Nigerian. Thank you so much, Cecilia, for your time on the show tonight. We'll come back to you again on Thursday. Thank you so much.
All right, guys.
All right, it's Cecilia Morgwe speaking to us live on the program. Yeah, me and Kehinde Idris. I don't know. Let football give us a winner. I like what Australia seem to be doing, with not just on the field, but with the entire World Cup. But then England too, they've been strategic with what Cecilia said about their closed door trainings and all of that. Kehinde Idris, maybe that's part of what is working for them.
Exactly, I totally agree. I think they're a decent team, and they know how to manage teams that have played there. The Nigerian game will come to mind.
All right, we'll leave it at that. We'll leave it at that, so that it doesn't hurt us anymore. Of course, and that brings us to the end of that segment, brought to you by, of course, Stanbic IBTC, the official insurance partner of the Super Falcons, and of course, it also makes it a wrap on the show. We wanted to talk about the Super Cup, but the time will not allow us to do that. May the best side win when, of course, Sevilla and Manchester City take to the field tomorrow. Austin, we got to go.
Yeah, we got to go. So tomorrow we'll come talk about the winner of the Super Cup. That's the show in London. I'm Austin Okonakpan. In everything you do, remember, keep talking sports. Bye for now.
All right, just like I said, there's a wrap on the show. But first, I want to thank Kehinde Idris for his time. Kehinde Idris, thank you so much. Your conversation never ends. We'll take it out. Hopefully, we'll do this again next week.
Hopefully, we'll do that, and then we'll take the conversation continue.
All right. That's the show today. We do hope you enjoyed everything we've been able to bring to you. We'll be back again tomorrow. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Bye-bye now.